Thank you. Thanks. Well, hello. New beginnings. So I don't know about you, but I think new beginnings and I go morning dawn. I think about happiness quotes and carpe diem. I think hashtag Phoenix Rising. But then I go, wait, for a phoenix to rise, it first has to fall to the ground and go poof, and a glorious spectacular of combustion. And then you think about butterflies. We talk about butterflies, and aren't they beautiful and all these things? Well, they spend a fifth of their life digesting their own body, right? So I think if I'm going to tell you a story about new beginnings, I think I should get a little more honest, right? There's a lot of pain that goes with new beginnings. So I think for my life, to tell you a story about new beginnings, I would go back to April of 2012. And that is when my son decided to come into the world at 29 weeks, because that seems like a good time to come into the world. I was living in Minneapolis at the time and working, and I went to my obstetrician's office, feeling pretty good about myself. On the grand to-do list of life, go to college, check. Get a good job, check. Get married, check. About to have a baby, winning, right? So sitting there, and they're taking my blood pressure, and they say, yeah, we're gonna do an ultrasound. And I think, okay, get up, go towards where the ultrasound room is, and they said, no, at the hospital. I went, okay. Don't know why we have a perfectly good ultrasound machine right here and I have to go to the hospital, but all right. So we go to the hospital, and I'm sitting there and get the ultrasound, just waiting on the doctor to come in and tell me what it means. So I'm sitting there, I'm getting a little bit impatient. I have a busy afternoon, I've got some work, I've got a meeting. And the door opens, and it wasn't the doctor, it was the most senior nurse I think they could have sent in. Her name was Kathleen. She sat down beside me, and she takes my hand and she starts rubbing it. It's typically not a good sign. And if that wasn't clue enough, the fact that she then started very intentionally talking about the weather and what I was wearing made me even more concerned. So finally I said, hey, I have to go to a meeting. When do I get to go home? It's cute. And she said, no, we're getting a bed ready for you in the ICU. Oh, ICU too. No. It's not what she meant. So this was a Friday, and they took me up, and Sunday, I had an emergency C-section to have my son. Now, I'd like to tell you a lot about what happened between Friday and Sunday, but I really can't, because I don't know how many of you are healthcare practitioners in here and know what magnesium sulfate is. If you don't, let me describe it to you. It's kind of like going like this inside your body in very slow motion. Everything slows down, and your limbs become about 5 times as heavy as they would be otherwise. Very inconvenient for many things, particularly when they roll you in for said emergency C-section and they say, they go to make the cut, and you can't quite tell the doctor that the anesthesia didn't take, and you can feel that. So, yeah. All this to say, I thought I was going to die. I wasn't so sure my son was going to live. And that's when it occurs to me that at new beginnings often first come with something that feels like death. And so just a thought then for the other new beginnings in my life, pain comes first, and things that make you feel like you're going to die. But in hindsight, you see, something did die, but what it really was just a smaller, more shallow life that you would have lived instead of what came as a result. So that's my story.